Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Wednesday, October 29th. I am back to wearing my Dolphins gear because they did not massively disappoint me this past weekend. They actually wildly overachieved. And we'll talk about those games, but it's going to be a bit of a different episode this week. Thankfully, this last slate of games was bad, but any week of football is a great week of football regardless. But yeah, lots of blowouts, not a lot of close games, but I mentioned at the end of last episode that this episode was going to be more of a mid-season superlatives. That's a hard word for me to say, apparently. Mid-season superlatives, some awards, maybe tweaking my Super Bowl prediction. Definitely tweaking my Super Bowl prediction. So a bit of a different episode. I'm still going to recap the games, but I'm hoping to kind of keep it to like 30 seconds a game. Just kind of say a couple sentences about each team, maybe even less, because there's not a lot to say about some of these teams. As always, starting off with the college football highlights. So yeah, it'll be college football highlights, quick Week 8 NFL recap, and then, these mid-season awards, kind of gauging how good some teams are doing, who's overrated, who's underrated, most surprising, go through the awards, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I guess let's just get into the college football highlights here. Down goes LSU and down goes Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly has been fired as the head coach of the LSU Tigers with a nice $50 million buyout. I don't know why college coaches get these crazy contracts with these crazy buyouts where they can just be like, okay, thanks for the $50 million. I'm good. Absolutely insane. But yeah, Brian Kelly was just never a fit with Louisiana. That was made very clear. Mississippi State and Texas go down to the wire in overtime, but Texas does come away with I won't say a big win because it's Mississippi State, and I mean, the expectations of Texas going into the season were huge, and yeah, they barely beat Mississippi State. Mississippi State, though, has been pretty good this year, but they're still Mississippi State at the end of the day. Vanderbilt beats Missouri 17-10. Number 10 ranked Vanderbilt, by the way. I don't know the last time Vanderbilt was ranked in the top 10. It would have been, at least 50 years ago. I can guarantee that. But shout out to Vanderbilt. Shout out to Diego Pavia, who sneaky Heisman candidate. I don't know if we'll get it, but he's just a dog. He plays his ass off. Next note here, Utah beats the shit out of Deion's Colorado, 43-0, 400 total yards to negative 18 total yards. Oh wait, that was just halftime. It was 43-0 at half with 400 total yards versus negative 18 total yards. An absolute whooping. And those are the college football highlights. Not a huge week in college, but let's get to this Week 8 NFL recap now. Again, hoping to keep it short here, but you know how I like to talk and I like to ramble a little bit. But we will, as always, start off with the Monday night game. Chiefs 28, Commander 7. Started off a little bit rocky. Interceptions on both sides, and not the quarterback's fault for interceptions. But again, at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes is now second in the league in pass yard, tied for the league in passing touchdowns. He is back to his kind of like MVP form, and we'll talk about him in the MVP race coming up. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I can just keep saying it. They're really good. The Commanders on the other side, I mean, you put up a good fight for like a half, and then see ya. I mean, there's not much you can do with Marcus Mariota there, and that's not a shot at Marcus Mariota, because Marcus Mariota is a capable backup NFL quarterback, whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, the Commanders just do not have the roster. They should absolutely be selling whatever they can to, because I think they only have 6 draft picks, but let's go all the way back to Thursday night now. Chargers 37, Vikings 10. An absolute whooping. Yeah, the Chargers get Joe Alt back, and that is a huge, huge difference for this offense. Justin Herbert had a little bit more time because, again, the other 4 starters on that offensive line aren't good, but Joe Alt is a wall. He is going to block whoever is in front of him. No doubt, Kamani Vidal had a good game. Herbert had a good game. Aronde Gadsden is an absolute weapon, like an actual real player for this team, which I like Gadsden coming out of the draft, but I did not expect that anyways. Vikings on the other side. Again, I'm going to talk about the Vikings a little bit later for one of these different superlatives, but I think the only real takeaway I have from this game is Carson Wentz was playing through a dislocated shoulder, torn rotator cuff, and like a broken clavicle or something like that. He played 2.5 games like that. That's just malpractice by the Vikings doctors, in my opinion. Like, you cannot put someone out on a football field who is that badly hurt. And again, I know it's Carson Wentz's decision at the end of the day, but it shouldn't be. There are team doctors in place who should be able to be like, no, you're not playing, because that's, again, extremely bad for his health. And he did gut it out. I don't know why. JJ McCarthy is seemingly healthy. It's, again, talk more about the Vikings in the bit, but not great. Into the Sunday games now. Jets at Bengals. Jets 39, Bengals 38. The real only good game of this past weekend. I give Justin Fields a ton of credit. He was very open with the media after the game about how he was in his house and he just kind of like broke down and had like a good cry because, yeah, the media has been after him. I mean, his own owner was after him. It was a Justin Fields revenge game versus his own team. I don't know how often that happens, but Fields had a really good game. I mean, he kept them in it. This was the Breece Hall game, though. Breece Hall, 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. A game-winning passing touchdown, I may add. But nice to see Aaron Glenn get that first win. Like, nice to see, again, the juice is flowing for the Jets. It's not all doom and gloom. It's still doom and gloom, but not all doom and gloom, at least. Bengals on the other side. Again, old man Joe Flacco is doing his best. He's throwing at Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase had 19 targets in this one. Absolutely wild. The run game was getting going. The defense is just absolutely horrific. We knew that the defense was absolutely horrific, but I can move on. Next game up here. Bills 40, Panthers 9. James Cook is definitely an offensive player of the year candidate. Had a 200 plus yard rushing performance in this one. Absolutely carried. It's nice to see when the Bills offense goes off like this and Josh Allen doesn't need to have like a Superman game for them to have a output like this. Am I still worried about the Bills? Slightly. But again, we'll talk more about that in a bit. Panthers, Andy Dalton just looked like he did not remember how to play football. Andy Dalton's been playing quarterback for a long time now, but that was like one of the worst quarterbacking performances I can remember, like off the top of my head. Andy Dalton was absolutely terrible, and this might be his last year in the league because of that. Keep moving. 49ers 15, Texans 26. Texans were able to move the ball. Again, wasn't always pretty. No Nico Collins out there, but the 2 rookie Jaden Higgins, Jaden Knoll, they were getting involved. Xavier Hutchinson had a touchdown. Woody Marks continues to look like he's going to be actually, I will say main running back, but it's still a 1A, 1B with him and Nick Chubb, but it looks like Woody Marks is the 1A and not the 1B anyways. Stroud had a good game. I mean, it's this Texans defense. This Texans defense is absolutely fantastic. I will continue to harp on that point. One of the best defenses in the league by far. 49ers on the other side, again, they're just so hurt. There's only so much Mac Jones can do, and it's, again, they were behind the 8 ball almost immediately in this game, and with all these injuries that the Niners have, obviously their goal is to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey, but you can't run the ball when you're that far behind and needing Mac Jones to pass the ball. And Mac Jones had a decent game, but wasn't good enough. Giants 20, Eagles 38. No A.J. Brown, does not matter in this one. 4 passing touchdowns on the day for Jalen Hurts. This was a vintage Saquon game. 14 rushes, 150 yards. Tank Bigsby also 9 rushes and 100 yards. So shout out to that Eagles rushing game. They played great. On the other side, though, Cam Scadaboo leaves the game with a dislocated ankle. Like, his ankle was literally facing the wrong way. He tried to get up too. He was like, no, like I'm good. And again, we know he's not all there, like, really, but Cam Scadaboo is a tough motherfucker, and I am definitely sad that he is out for the rest of the season, because he is a very, very fun player to watch. Jackson Dart continues to look athletic anyways. We'll see how these next few weeks go. Tyrone Tracy looking like he's going to be that lead back. Obviously, him and Devin Singletary, they will be the 2 backs trying to duke it out, but it's probably going to be Tyrone Tracy's job. Browns 13, Patriots 32. Drake May continues to be an absolute stud. Travion Henderson finally got involved just a little bit. Anyways, he's clearly the better back. Start using him more. He's clearly the better back. Yeah, this Patriots team is good. I hate to say it. Browns on the other side. Myles Garrett, 5-sack performance, and then they pull him in the fourth quarter because they were down by so much, and we were like, no, Myles, we don't want you to get hurt. He becomes the youngest, or he has the most sacks in NFL history now before turning 30, which is an absolutely insane feat, topping Reggie White there. Myles Garrett's the best pass rusher I've ever seen, like, with my eyes. I mean, the consistency, he's just so good at everything. He's so good. Sucks that he's in Cleveland, but he signed that deal. He knew what he was getting into. We see where Micah Parsons is, and Micah Parsons looking like he's going to be on like a Super Bowl contending team, and Myles Garrett's going to be stuck with the Browns for the rest of his career, which is, again, very unfortunate, but Dylan Gabriel also just stinks. I can just say that. Dylan Gabriel sucks. It is Shador time. Put in Shador. Next game up here, Bears 16, Ravens 30. No Lamar Jackson in this one, and the Ravens still scored 30. You know why? Because they had Pro Bowl quarterback in there, Snoop Huntley. I don't know why Snoop Huntley ever left the Ravens, and I know that wasn't his decision to leave the Ravens. I mean, it might have been because he signed with the Browns, and the Browns might have given him you might get an opportunity to start here, and opportunities to start are few and far between, obviously, but yeah, as long as Lamar Jackson's the quarterback of the Ravens, Tyler Huntley should absolutely be the backup for the Ravens. I mean, he runs that offense really well. It's not a seamless transition because it's Lamar Jackson, but he runs that offense very, very effectively. Derrick Henry passes Walter Payton for the 5th most rushing touchdowns all time. That's sick. Bears on the other side, not great. Clearly, their defense is just okay, but if they're not forcing turnovers, again, the defense is just okay. Caleb Williams does what I like to do in Madden, where when he's a little late when seeing the route, he just tries to throw a bullet in there, and that worked in college, but this is the NFL, and people have that makeup speed, and it shows. And again, Caleb Williams is still really talented, but yeah, we can leave it at that. Dolphins 34, Falcons 10. That just blown away. It looked like we had a functional offense. Tua 4 passing touchdowns in this one. Now tied with MVP candidate Drake May, I would like to add. But yeah, Waddle looked good. Achane looked good. Oh my god, look at that. We give the ball to Ollie Gordon and we have a somewhat balanced offense. What a shock. Defense played great too. Obviously hard to stop Bijan Robinson, but that's exactly what they did. Falcons on the other side, yes, you were technically missing your starting quarterback. To me, the biggest loss was no Drake London in this one, obviously. But the Falcons are still the Falcons. No one should be believing in this team whatsoever. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's a nice story, but when people say, oh, they have a top 5 defense in the league, and they have one of the best offenses. No, they don't. I don't care what the statistics say, and the Falcons aren't good. The Falcons are good enough to beat a bunch of other teams, But the Falcons are not like a real serious team at the end of the day. We'll keep going. Buccaneers 23, Saints 3. Not a great offensive game for the Bucs, I will say that. Baker played all right. Still no Bucky Irving. They're now on bye week, so hopefully they get him like the week after. But yeah, I'm not worried about the Bucs. Shout out to, is it Anthony Nelson? Anthony Nelson, I think, had a pick six where, again, he's a big defensive end. Got up, caught the ball, and only one guy in his way, Spencer Rattler, and he just shoved Spencer Rattler right in the dirt. It was kind of obviously not the same as that Chandler Jones interception where he then did the same thing to Mac Jones, but great play by Anthony Nelson. Spencer Rattler does end up getting benched in this one, and in comes 26-year-old rookie Tyler Shuck. Worse than Spencer Rattler. I can get, like, again, he did have a worse game than Spencer Rattler in this one. I think they ended up with the same amount of interceptions, almost same amount of yards, but Tyler Shuck had like 12 more attempts than Rattler did. Rattler's the better quarterback. Rattler's also the younger quarterback. Again, a top 40 pick on Tyler Shuck. Terrible value. Cowboys 24, Broncos 44. Bo Nix continues to confuse the hell out of me, where sometimes it's, he is the worst quarterback I have ever seen. And other times it is, damn, that was a really great play by Bo Nix. And it's just up and down, up and down, up and down. It is what it is. Broncos defense continues to play well. Pat Surtain is now out for them, and that will be a big loss for that secondary. But they held up in this one without Pat Surtain, so that was nice to see. Cowboys defense is abysmal. They absolutely got their teeth kicked in. The offense, again, didn't look good. Not a lot was working for them, but it is what it is. We'll keep going. Colts 38, Titans 14. Jonathan Taylor has now gone from Offensive Player of the Year candidate to MVP candidate, and we'll talk about that in a bit. He is great. That Colts team is just great in general. Titans, on the other hand, absolutely terrible. Bad. Like, first overall pick, I want to put a lock on, like, the Titans are going to be picking first overall. I don't know who they beat. I forget who they beat, but they should not have beaten anybody this year. So, that's a shame. And then finally here, Sunday Night Football, Packers at Steelers. Packers 35, Steelers 25. Going into halftime, this looked like, Mike Tomlin, he's going to do it again in this big underdog spot at home. Nope. Packers offense absolutely went off. They remembered that they were playing a bunch of old men on defense there. TJ Watt, like, for the Steelers, is still like a good player, but these last few years of the Steelers defense has been predicated so much on TJ Watt making these big splash plays, getting after the quarterback, and now that he's a little bit older and he can't do that as effectively, the whole defense has become worse. What a shock when you're relying on a bunch of guys who are 30 plus to be the stars on your defense. Eventually it's going to stop working. And this seems like the year where, the offense for the Steelers has gone way up from the Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph days. But now the defense has dropped down, where now they kind of have an average offense and an average defense instead of like an elite defense and a bad offense. Now they're just an average team. The Steelers are the Steelers are the Steelers. It is what it is. Packers are really good. I still don't buy into them completely, but the Packers are really good. That is the Week 8 NFL recap. I actually made pretty good time there. Look at me go. So, let's get to these NFL superlatives now. Kyle Duggar just got traded. Why am I down nasty? Josh McDaniels is back to working as one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL. QB merchant, how about that? Okay, no, I can't get into it with you right now. Because I'm typing out that... Because Josh McDaniels is a terrible head coach. He's a good offensive coordinator, terrible head coach. Regardless. These NFL superlatives here. Where are my notes? There they are. So, we're going to go over the awards. MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Protector of the Year, and Coach of the Year. I'm not doing Comeback Player of the Year. Fuck that shit. Then I'm going to do Best trade slash free agency acquisition, breakout team, most overrated, system QB award. I wonder who that's going to. Most disappointing, and then biggest surprise. I feel like that covers a lot of ground, so let's just start off with MVP here. MVP is a quarterback award, and right now there is a handful of guys who are kind of at the top of that right now. It's Pat Mahomes, it's Patrick Mahomes. I don't really have to explain what he's doing, but he is back to, that MVP form that was seeing him throw for 40 touchdowns and 4,500 plus yards. Like, that version of the Chiefs offense is back, and that should terrify literally everybody. Then we have Drake May, who, when we're talking about most valuable, you take Drake May off that Patriots team is not good. Drake May is what makes that Patriots team run. I mean, I think I saw something that's like, the Patriots have a top 10 offensive line per PFF. Then they went against Myles Garrett and 5 sacks. Again, didn't matter because the Browns are just bad everywhere. But Drake May is definitely the most valuable person to his team at the moment anyways. But I'd also make an argument for this guy, Jonathan Taylor. Without Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, they would still have a good running game. Let's be real, that offensive line has been great. I mean, they lose Ryan Kelly and Will Fries in free agency, and people are like, I don't know about the offensive line, but in steps in Mac Goncalves, in steps in Tanner Bortolini, and boom, seamless. The run game has been terrific, but again, and Daniel Jones has looked good, but no Jonathan Taylor on that Colts team. Jonathan Taylor is on pace to, I think, have 26 rushing touchdowns on the year. I think he has 13 on the season right now. We are at the midway point. 26 rushing touchdowns on the year. Somehow that's still not an NFL record because LaDainian Tomlinson is a freak, but no one's had 20-plus rushing touchdowns since LT, since Sean Alexander. I mean, there was a crazy 3-year stretch back from 2006 to 2004 where there was a couple guys, I think Priest Holmes was one of them too, who just ran for 20 plus TDs. Has not happened in a very, very long time. Jonathan Taylor will 100% rush for 20 plus touchdowns. Absolutely crazy to say, but he's leading the league in rushing yards, leading the league in touchdowns by a mile. He should be in this MVP conversation, and I am definitely putting him in this MVP conversation. Again, it is a QB award, so it's tough to I don't know, but Jonathan Taylor deserves his name to be said there. Baker also deserves, just because, he's a dog, he's got the moxie, whatever. But since it is a QB award, I think it is going to be between Mahomes, May, and Baker. We'll see which way the media is going to go with it, because obviously, Pat Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But what Drake May is doing for the Patriots is absolutely incredible, and I think he does deserve... Again, we have a whole other half of the season to go, but Drake May definitely deserves to be in that conversation. Offensive Player of the Year. It's basically the same conversation I just had. It's Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is the Offensive Player of the Year. I think I said a few weeks ago where I'm like, I have no idea who it's going to be because there's so many guys who are playing great football right now between Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, James Cook. Lots of guys who are playing fantastic football, but Jonathan Taylor is clearly one step above the rest. But I would look at James Cook. James Cook is the best player on that Bills offense, not named Josh Allen. So he's the best weapon on that Bills offense. There's a better way to say it. Bijan Robinson's weird. Bijan is obviously one of the elite backs, one of the best backs in the league, but it's very weird how hot and cold he gets. And this has been a thing since he's been a rookie, where for back-to-back games, he'll rip off 150 plus rushing yards, or I'll say 150 total yards because he does help out in the receiving game a lot. And then he'll go against the Dolphins, one of the worst run defenses in the league, and then he'll have 9 carries for 28 yards. I don't understand it. Like, it is weird, and obviously, like, all running backs kind of have those days, but I feel like Bijan has a lot of them, where it's like, oh my god, he's the best, and it's like, Bijan doesn't exist. Where, like, at least with, like, Saquon, again, Saquon before this week was kind of having a rough few weeks, but Saquon's still getting, like, 40, 50 yards or whatever, and it's not up to Saquon standards, but 28 yards in a game is not great. Either way, all that to say, Jonathan Taylor, Offensive Player of the Year, can almost lock that in. I kind of want to look at like what his odds are actually to win the award, because it should be like he should be minus odds anyways. Let's look this up quickly. Awards, Offensive Player of the Year. Jonathan Taylor minus 250. Yeah, that just absolutely makes sense. See, James Cook plus 3,500. That might not be a bad little sprinkle, but it's Jonathan Taylor's award to lose by a mile. Defensive Player of the Year. See, this is where, again, the odds makers are different, and Vegas is Vegas, but right now, Micah Parsons is the favorite to win the award. Mike has definitely come on. He's played better and better as the season's gone on. And yeah, he has transformed that Packers defense. I think it makes sense for him to win the award. But there's that guy in Cleveland, Myles Garrett, who continues to do his thing. Aiden Hutchinson has been right back to his elite level coming back from injury. But the guy who I'll give like a little bit, I'll keep going. Will Anderson, Jared Verse, they've been playing great. Brian Burns has also been playing like really good football. He won't get it because the Giants, but the guy who I will give a shout out to is Nick Bonito, the edge from the Denver Broncos. Definitely not leading the league in sacks anymore after Myles Garrett's 5-sack performance there, but he was going into this past week, and again, he played great football last year. He's continuing to play great football this year. That Broncos defense is very, very good, and he's a big reason because of that. Again, it's a very, very tight race for obvious reasons. I think it will kind of go to one of those big three between Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson. We'll see, though. I think I have a ticket on Micah Parsons, so go Micah. No, I just talked about Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year now. So, the odds have Jackson Dart as the favorite right now. I disagree with that. I think just because Jackson Dart is a quarterback, he gets more of the shine, more of the glow, like whatever. And he has been playing good football, but I don't think he's been playing like great football. Where last year, the whole thing with Jaden Daniels versus Brock Bowers was Jaden Daniels was having like a terrific rookie season, but Brock Bowers was having a historic rookie season. But the quarterback wins out because he's the quarterback. Where if it's Jackson Dart having like a good season versus Emeka Egbuka, who's been a stud, like number one receiver for the Bucks, like I give the edge to Emeka Egbuka. But Tyler Warren has truly been the Rookie of the Year in my opinion, because it's not just what he does as a receiving threat, because he's been because we all know how great he is as a receiving threat. Like, since week one, he has basically stepped in and been the exact same guy he has been at Penn State. Catching the ball, the yak ability, making big plays. But it's what he does in the run game. And that is also just him running the ball out of the fullback position. But what he does for Jonathan Taylor, just opening up the run game and his blocking. And I'm very sad that the Dolphins passed on him for obvious reasons. We need a tight end. We still need a tight end because Darren Waller died. So yeah, still need a tight end, and Darren Waller would have helped on the with the pass blocking and with everything, and it is unfortunate that we didn't get him, but yeah, Tyler Warren is my Offensive Rookie of the Year right now. Tight ends should not be shamed for the position that they play, and especially a guy like Tyler Warren, who has truly been a do-it-all tight end his rookie year. I think he definitely deserves a nod. Defensive Rookie of the Year. No one is standing out right now. Like, truly, like, no one has been like, oh, watch out for this guy. Because, like, it is Abdul Carter. And Abdul Carter has been really great this year, but unfortunately for him, he's got Brian Burns ahead of him, who I just kind of briefly mentioned about Defensive Player of the Year. And then Kayvon Thibodeau is kind of having his breakout year, where he's kind of put things together and he's looking like a good pro now at this point. Where, yeah, Abdul Carter is now that, like, third guy in that rotation, and his presence is still being felt. Like, he's still making a difference in the games, but it hasn't been as much of a difference as I think a lot of people expected when he was drafted. But he's still killing it. But, like, other than that, I have no idea. Jahad Campbell for the Eagles, he's been playing really well. Nick Manawari, the safety for the Seahawks, has, again, when he's played, he's been fantastic. He just hasn't played a lot this year. Andrew Makuba, the safety for the Eagles, he's also been playing great. Like, but again, it's few and far between right now. Like, Will Johnson, I'll give him a shout out, because again, when he's been healthy, he's been a very, very good corner. But it seems like it's Abdul Carter's award to lose, just because no other defensive rookie is really stepping up to the plate at the moment. So yeah, Abdul Carter's award to lose for sure. Now, on to Protector of the Year. Lots of guys who deserve praise here. Both Eagles tackles, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Penei Sewell, Trent Williams, but there seems to be a theme here, me talking about Colts players. Quentin Nelson has been incredible this year. He is back to his Hall of Fame form where, like, the last couple years, he's still been, like, very good, but not up to Quentin Nelson standards. And this year, yeah, he is back to looking like that future first ballot Hall of Famer. An absolute stud. I mean, just the holes that he is opening up in the run game for Jonathan Taylor has been absolutely nuts, and that's why it's like, yeah, Jonathan Taylor is having a historic year, but I think if you put like an average running back there, they'd also be having like a pretty damn good year themselves. But yeah, I think Quentin Nelson should be the favorite right now for Protector of the Year. Obviously, it might turn into a bit of a legacy award, and that's why Lane Johnson might get it, but I think that Quentin Nelson definitely deserves the nod here. Coach of the Year, Shane Steichen. Duh. Like, it's just, again, no one expected the Colts to do literally anything this year. And Shane Steichen being the coach of that team, yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. The offense looks absolutely fantastic. He is a great play caller. Other guy I'll shout out here, Mike Vrabel. Again, the expectations for the Patriots this year were not that high. And the fact that they are leading the division right now, midway through the season, definitely going to make a playoff spot. I'd be, again, absolutely shocked if they don't, but Mike Vrabel deserves a ton of credit for kind of changing the culture there over the last few years of like the bad Belichick years. Vrabel's a stud, but again, it's probably going to be between those two guys. Kyle Shanahan deserves a shout out just for the amount of injuries he's had to deal with, where like the Niners like sneak into a wild card spot. Maybe, but seems like it's going to be Shane Steichen's award to lose. Yeah, those are like the actual awards. Now, best trade / free agent pickup from this offseason. Couple of guys I could have talked about: Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers potentially. I'm trying to remember other big. Rico Dowdle, kind of, not really. The Micah Parsons trade has been huge, and realistically that might have been, but that's too easy. But I'm going to go with the people who kind of made like a big splash, because we all know what Micah Parsons was like going to be. We knew he's elite. He's still elite. Pretty easy transition, pretty easy thing to pick out. But Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks, people were not confident in him. People did not know which Sam Darnold they were going to get. Were they going to get the Jets-Panthers Sam Darnold? Were they going to get the first 14 weeks of the Vikings Sam Darnold from last year? Or was it going to be that other guy? And Sam Darnold is now a proven good NFL QB. I'm shocked. I'm in disbelief that he is playing that well, but he is absolutely living up to his First round. When was he picked? Third overall? That sounds right by the Jets. Yeah, Sam Darnold's been a fucking star this year. And I mean, it is that connection to JSN that he has, but him and Clint Kubiak, that offense has been humming, and Sam Darnold is a big reason because of that. The throws that he is making, because again, if Sam Darnold wasn't this team's QB, I don't know who it would be. It might be Jalen Milroe, but they probably would have went with some other vet, and it probably wouldn't have looked the same, like, obviously. But Seahawks defense is playing so well, and the offense is playing so well, and again, it's mostly because of JSN, but someone has to get JSN the ball, and Sam Darnold has been that guy. So yeah, that's probably been like my number one acquisition from the offseason, not including Micah Parsons, obviously. Breakout team. Who am I going to talk about? I don't know. The Colts. Duh. Like, quite literally. I mean, I have been, and again, I've said this before, but I truly believe that if Andrew Luck did not retire, that the Colts would have been rivaling the Chiefs in terms of Super Bowls for those few years, because the Colts roster has been good. They have just been missing that piece at quarterback. And I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is that piece, but when the roster is good enough, you just need a quarterback to make the throws he's supposed to, and that's what Daniel Jones is doing. Because holy shit, did they just have guys everywhere on this offense. That offensive line, good. The receivers, I mean, they have Alec Pierce to take the top off the defense. They have Josh Downs in the slot running all the underneath stuff. Michael Pittman can do all the intermediate routes. Tyler Warren just as a weapon at tight end. The do-it-all. Jonathan Taylor, MVP candidate at running back. They don't have a weak spot on offense. Like, Daniel Jones is their quote-unquote weak spot on offense. And Daniel Jones has been a top 10 quarterback in the league this year. Again, I said it in the offseason where I'm like, I'm a believer in the Colts, but like, just because I think that their roster is good. But Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson at quarterback, I just can't get behind that, but this team is fucking good. And it's not to discredit the defense to, like, DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, Leatu Latu's having a breakout year. Unfortunately, their number one corner, Charvarius Ward, is on IR at the moment with a concussion, but once he gets back, the defense is still really good. Not as good as their offense, because their offense is the best in the league, but that defense is still really good. So obviously, breakout team is the Colts. Most overrated team. A few teams I could have gone with, like, obviously, I mean, the Broncos, the Cowboys, like the typical ones, but the Eagles maybe, but I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. And before people be like, oh, you're a Dolphins fan, you hate the Bills. I don't hate the Bills. Josh Allen is my favorite quarterback in the league, and it absolutely sucks because I have my favorite quarterback in the league playing on my division rival, and now I have Drake May, who I also really, really like, playing on my other division rival. Yay! But the Bills this year have just not been good. I take that back. The Bills have been very good this year, but their defense has been terrible. Like, bad. Again, they looked pretty good against the Panthers this past week, but now they lose Ed Oliver out for the rest of the season with a torn bicep. I don't think their defense has the juice, like, at all. Sean McDermott seems to be a very good coach when they play bad teams on the defensive side of the ball. But when they get to the playoffs, it's kind of like, okay, Josh Allen, okay, offense, go win the game for us. And there's just, again, we've seen it. There's just times when they can't, and that defense just gets picked apart game after game after game. They did add 3 players back this past week with Larry Ogunjobi, Michael Hoyt, and Maxwell Harrison, their first-round rookie corner. So, again, maybe it gives them a bit of a boost, but I'm not a fan of this Bills defense, and even the Bills offense. The run game, fantastic. James Cook is a stud. The offensive line is very good. Their weapons are not good. I like Khalil Shakir. I've said this a lot. Khalil Shakir is a good wide receiver, but that's all he is a good wide receiver. He should not be your number one, and he is their number one. They drafted Dalton Kincaid in the first round, hoping that he would be some big stud tight end, and he's not. He's okay. He's fine. He's good enough, but he has not lived up to that expectation. Keon Coleman, same thing. Another highly drafted wide receiver who he's essentially just Dalton Kincaid. That's where it does confuse me, where Keon Coleman did his best work in college as like a power slot, big body slot guy, like get him the ball quick, like he can make those moves, whatever. But as a perimeter receiver, he doesn't really have the juice. And him and Dalton Kincaid essentially play the same position for the Bills. And you can't have two of those guys really on the field. And after that, like Elijah Moore made a couple nice plays in the last game. Sure, Josh Palmer got hurt, and after it looked like he was going to do some things. Again, I don't trust their pass-catching weapons outside of Khalil Shakir. Again, the run game is great. Josh Allen is great, but I have a lot of issues with the Bills team this year, and I think we can leave it at that. What do we have next here? The System QB Award. This could go to a lot of people. It could go to Michael Penix. It could go to Tua. It could go to... Who else could I think of that I don't really like? A quarterback who just kind of does its thing. Yeah, whatever. It's Bo Nix. I talked about it when doing like the quick recap there, but Bo Nix is such a funny quarterback to me because there is time, again, I said it earlier, but where he just looks like one of the worst quarterbacks on the field and he has all the time in the world and just waiting, and then just makes a terrible, terrible decision with the ball. And then it's okay, he plays fantastic. But at the end of the day, his offensive line is one of the best in the league, his defense is one of the best in the league, and that run game is going. The weapons have been producing for him, where it's so easy for him out there. Where, he should play like a Pro Bowl level quarterback when all of these things are good around him. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts in a sense, where, when that defense is good, when the run game is good, when that offensive line is great, giving him a ton of time, he should look good. But there's so many times where it's like, whoa, Bo Nix, what the fuck are you doing? And other times, it's, again, he looks like that Pro Bowl level QB. I'm not bought in on Bo Nix at the end of the day. I still think that there's a lot of work left to do, but he's definitely proved me wrong. I thought he was going to be like a career backup at best, but he might be the new Kirk Cousins to me. It's not a bad thing. I mean, Kirk Cousins made a shitload of money. But Bo Nix wins the System QB Award. Now, on to most disappointing team here. Now, this could go a lot of ways. It could easily go to the Dolphins, but my expectations were low to begin with, so that doesn't matter. The Titans, I didn't give them a chance this year anyways, and they've not exceeded my expectations, but whatever the opposite of exceeded my expectations are. Whatever. I'm not whatever. The Raiders, I thought were going to be much better on that offense, and that's just been a complete mess over there. Again, a lot of teams that this could go to here. Actually, before, because I just remembered, I should have mentioned Carson Schwesinger's name for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, he sprained his ankle and is going to be out for a few weeks anyways, but he's been lights out for the Browns. He's been lights out in general. Shout out Carson Schwesinger. Okay, back to my thing. So, not the Dolphins, because I knew that they were not going to be great anyways, but definitely didn't exceed expectations anyways. The Raiders' offense has been abysmal. The Titans are terrible, obviously, but I'm going to go with a team that actually had real expectations going into the season, who made a bunch of big, splashy free agent moves. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Then comes second-year quarterback J.J. McCarthy, who questionable with his gameplay when he was healthy the first couple weeks. And then after that, it's been Carson Wentz, and it's like, okay, it's been okay. But even outside the quarterback play, they made big moves of getting Jonathan Allen, bringing in Javon Hargrave, shoring up that offensive line. They draft Donovan Jackson in the first round. They sign Ryan Kelly. They sign Will Fries to... okay, now we have an offensive line. And those guys haven't panned out. Those two defensive tackles have been good, but they're not run stuffers. And the Vikings defense has been getting gashed. It's not typical to see a Brian... I guess Brian Flores' defenses go two ways. They either get gashed or they're like lights out, and right now they're getting gashed. But the Vikings had real playoff expectations. I mean, they were a 14-win team last year, almost the 1 seed. And now it's JJ McCarthy better come in and look good, like almost immediately, because if he doesn't, the Vikings GM, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, I think he should definitely start to be on the hot seat. He has not drafted well. He made a lot of splashes in free agency this year that have also really not panned out. Again, there's a lot of disappointing teams this year, but the Vikings, I think going into the year, a lot of Vikings fans thought that, okay, if JJ McCarthy can be like average, we can be like a playoff team, a team contending for the division. And right now, I think they're probably the worst team in their division. I didn't see that one coming, so that's why they are the most disappointing. And now the biggest surprise. Again, I've talked about them a bunch, but of course it is the Patriots. Going into the season, I thought like the ceiling for the Patriots this year would have been around 8 wins, where like, okay, you steps in the right direction, like Drake May looks good, the offensive line it still isn't great, but it's getting better, the defense is solid, and all of these things are true, except just take everything to the next level. Drake May's playing like an MVP candidate. These offensive weapons that I was like hemming and hawing about. Stephon Diggs doesn't look like the Stephon Diggs from a few years ago, but he's still a damn good receiver. Kayshon Boutte's been playing great. Hunter Henry is an ageless wonder, apparently. The run game, when Ramondre Stevenson isn't fumbling, has been good. The offensive line has been much better than I expected anyways, outside of Myles Garrett from last week, and the defense is the defense. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is an absolute stud at corner. They have Carlton Davis opposite him. The defense has been great. Milton Williams, I wasn't confident, and like, okay, you gave that guy like $26 million AAV. Milton Williams has absolutely been the part. Like, all of the moves that the Patriots have made this offseason have absolutely hit, and I'm disgusted by it. I don't think there's anything else I can really say that other than I am disgusted by how good the Patriots are and how good the Patriots got again this quickly. Is what it is. But yeah, those are kind of like my mid-season superlatives. I'm very tired. It is almost 9:15 now. I'm going to end it here because I still have to eat some food. Crazy. But yeah, I will end it here though. And as always, if you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. And until next time, peace.